My name is Thomas Willemeit. I'm co-founder of Graft Architects. When I was working for Daniel Liebeskind for 2.5 years, that was the time when I really understood the potential of architecture, and especially the quality of architecture to be communicative, to have a message, to be expressive, and to tell a story. I think in architecture it's very important that you can interact with the space. So the architecture in itself has some aspects of that can be judged by criteria out of the architectural history, or you can find it beautiful or ugly, of course, but its most important value is in how it can be, how the user can interact with the architecture. For me, architecture needs to be accessible. So architecture is more a tool than an end product for me. And you have to understand that what happens inside architecture needs to be addressed before you start designing. So you need to understand who you build for, who your target group, so to say, is, who the users are, and get in contact with them. So the dialogue about what in the end should happen inside the house is very important before you even draw the first line. For architecture, good design is a very complex question, because architecture needs to be intelligent and smart on one side, like cater to energy expectations, to smart energy concepts, for example. But at the same time, it also needs to be emotional. And of course, we want our buildings, our interiors, to not only be practical, but also inspiring. We believe that an office environment is like a landscape or a topography that should provide not only one atmospheric quality throughout, but it should create the broadest possible spectrum of niches and open stages that we could think of. So what we try to do in our work is really to allow people to choose them by themselves what the quality of the space they inhabit really means for them. Yeah, you know, when you think of SAP, you think of these engineers and designers and developers that think about the future. But of course also SAP has a history, and this is so interesting to see where it started. The company has come a long way, and it's very interesting to see how also the work environment changed. That was what I was very interested. To me, it seems that as part of the ethics of the company, that it seems to be attracting very many different talents from all over the world, and that seems to be represent very well the society, the global society that we live in today. I'm always inspired by people who do something that I have no idea about. So when a project allows me to meet people who work in completely different professions or who are specialists in fields that I have no idea about, this is super inspiring for me. That's why I'm very happy to be an architect. Sometimes you build hospitals, you work together with doctors, sometimes you build private residences, you speak to developers or private individuals, or you speak with brand representatives if you do retail architecture. Very, very different viewpoints, people who are experts in very different fields, and this is inspiring in itself. I'm very happy to be an architect.